So I came across this article on Looper talking about which Mortal Kombat character you are based off your zodiac sign. I know a lot of people are into zodiac signs and astrology. I kind of just like to play around with it just to kind of see, not so much check my horoscope, but a lot of these type of things like they're on Facebook and that are on Twitter and stuff as far as, you pick your month and it picks a character and all that kind of good stuff. So I like to just see, who they think I would belong with. So I am a Leo. And I have not seen this list yet, so I'm going to kind of be reacting to it for the first time, but let's go over it together and let's kind of see who you think you are, if you agree with the choices, and who you think you should be. All right, so start off on the list. We've got Aries as Johnny Cage. I guess I can agree with this. I mean, Aries is, very fiery, fighters, action, they like that kind of stuff, strength. So I could see that. I'm not so familiar as far as if they're like arrogant, let's see what if they get some type of, so here we go. Okay. So if that combination of loyalty, bravery, and occasional brashness sounds familiar, that's because it's a common characteristic of Aries. There you go. Belonging to those born between March 21st and April 19th. So it's coming up. Sometimes prone to acting before thinking, Aries are instantly competitive and deeply passionate, both qualities of Cage has embodied since the very beginning of Mortal Kombat franchise. While he doesn't throw actual fireballs like some of his allies and enemies, he's certainly well deserving of the fire sign title. Every Aries is a star unto themselves, and Johnny Cage is no different. While his movie career and status of one of Earthrealm's champions has earned him plenty of supporters, he has always remained one of his own biggest fans. So there you go. So I could see that. I think that's a good pairing together. All right, so next up we have Taurus as Katana. All right, Taurus as Katana. So for starters, Katana hails from the realm of Adenia, which is famed for the Mortal Kombat universe for its overwhelming natural beauty. She is also as evidenced by her title royalty, making her naturally inclined to a more luxurious lifestyle than many of her fellow MK characters. None of that makes Katana soft, however. Quite the opposite. Her hard life in the court of Emperor Shao Kahn made her a tough and determined fighter, but one who has always remained primarily interested in peace. As both a ruler and a warrior, Katana is nearly unmatched, largely because of her ability to stay cool, calm, and collected amidst even the most dire of circumstances. In short, she is more than worthy of a bearer of the Taurus sign in the world of Mortal Kombat. Interesting stuff. All right, next up we've got, Gemini, Noob Saibot. So I will say this was an obvious choice, right? Because Geminis are twins, and this kind of makes sense because Noob Saibot has, the twin factor going on. So this obviously, I can see this happening. So this says the busy, curious, playful nature of Gemini is born between May 21st and June 20th may not immediately seem applicable to such a villainous character, but there are a number of things about Noob Saibot that align him squarely with the third sign of the zodiac. For starters, his shadow powers and penchant from vanishing into the wind fit well with the transient nature of the Gemini air sign. The warrior's other primary power is the ability to clone himself, another apt comparison to the sign whose symbol is the twins, what I just said. And while Bi-Han's shifting allegiances, are generally in the interest of attaining power, he's still one of the most mobile characters in the entire Mortal Kombat franchise, having been allied to the Lin Kuei, the Forces of Outworld, the Armies of Netherrealm, and various other factions over the years. So next up, we've got Cancer, which is Sub-Zero. And what I find interesting about this is Noob Saibot is basically Bi-Han, so it's weird that Bi-Han and Noob Saibot have different signs. Just putting that out there, but let's go to it. So this says, like Sub-Zero, Cancer signs, those born June 21st to July 22nd, are constantly balancing self-preservation with larger concerns, swaying back and forth between the world of their own emotions and the literal physical world they inhabit. Sub-Zero is a smart and discerning person, both as a fighter and as a leader of the reformed Lin Kuei clan. He is slow to trust, deferring to gathered evidence and logic over snap judgments, but he still allows his emotions to lead him from time to time, making him an unpredictable, formidable foe. Interesting stuff, interesting. All right, here I am. So Leo, Kano. So it says, Leo, lasting from January 23rd to August 22nd, can be a sign of great heroism and loyalty. But its tendencies towards self-enrichment and intense pride can also yield people like Kano. A ruthless mercenary always looking for the next big payday. Kano embodies the Leo sign in his passion for the one thing he cares about all above himself. Kano has a huge ego, same thing, and is willing to do nearly anything to help himself, well paid, well fed, and on top of the food chain. However, he also embodies the positive qualities of strength, determination, and confidence that define many Leos. Interesting. I never would have thought Kano would have been my Mortal Kombat Zodiac sign, but there you go. Next up, we got Virgo, and that's Kung Lao. Studious, industrious, logical, and determined. These all words frequently associated with Virgos, those between August 23rd and November 22nd. Not coincidentally, they're also words that describe the Shaolin monk Kung Lao, and one of the Earthrealm's most dedicated defenders. And it talks about he was first introduced in Mortal Kombat 2 and played by Max Wong in 2021. Kung Lao is best known for his razor-sharp hat and his stoic, determined persona. All right, moving on, let's talk about the next one. Libra is Sonya Blade. All right, so no one in the Mortal Kombat universe values justice more than the Special Forces operative. That makes sense, right? Sonya Blade, one of the original characters from the very first Mortal Kombat arcade game, Sonya is a protector of the highest degree, a fierce warrior driven by her desire to attain peace. As those born between September 23rd and October 22nd will know, those are textbook Libra traits, and Sonya embodies the air sign in many ways. Good stuff, good stuff. Next up, we got Scorpio, Shang Tsung. Totally agree with this one. Totally agree. Says, the sign of Scorpio, ascribed to people born between October 23rd and November 22nd, is often described as naturally plotting and deeply intuitive. Scorpios are master of control. In the case of Shang Tsung, the scheming sorcerer of Mortal Kombat, those qualities manifest themselves in frequent bids for power and supremacy. That sounds right. As Shao Kahn's right-hand man, Shang Tsung always has his finger on the pulse of various realms and the champions who fight for them. He's conniving, brilliant tactician who is always looking for a way to gain an advantage, even that if it means breaking the rules, as was the case in the first movie. I like that one. All right, Sagittarius for Scorpion. I'm sure Scorpion fans are excited if they're Sagittarius. All right, despite his name, Scorpion falls far more accurately into Sagittarius sign, November 22nd through December 21st, than that of Scorpio. At first, the pairing might seem odd. Isn't Scorpion a killer driven by little more than revenge? Well, that's certainly how the story starts, but there's far more to the fiery ninja than his various vendettas. The sad truth of Scorpion is that he spends much of the early Mortal Kombat story being manipulated by various nefarious forces like NetherRealm's evil sorcerer Quan Chi. Scorpion is lied to time and time again, finally realizing that deceptions put upon him and finding his own meaning of life. Oh, poor Scorpion. That's all true. While not always a hero, Scorpion ultimately becomes a champion for good, and his finest moments in the Mortal Kombat universe show him keeping the powers of darkness at bay. I totally agree with that one. We got 3 more. So next up is Capricorn as Jax. So Sonya Blade isn't the only notable Special Forces operative in the Mortal Kombat universe. And while her associate and close friend Jackson Briggs, otherwise Jax, shares her passion for justice, he's mostly closely attuned to the Capricorn sign, which is December 22nd to January 21st, then that of the Libra. There's no question that Jax, with his massively cybernetic arms and ability to create minor ground quakes, would be an Earth sign, and he fits nicely into the 10th zodiac for other reasons as well. Well, that one seems pretty cool, right? All right, next up is Aquarius for Raiden. This one might be a bit obvious, but if you're looking for the Aquarius in the Mortal Kombat roster, you're looking for Lord Raiden, God of Thunder, and Protector of Earthrealm. The Aquarius sign belonging to those born between January 20th to February 18th. People belonging to this section of the zodiac sign are often as being caring and compassionate for humanity, the world at large, while also frequently characterized as stubborn and unswayable in their own personal ways. That sounds about right. Who better embodies those different characteristics than the literal guardian of Earth, who's been wearing the same cool hat for thousands of years and trains his champions with an unwielding sternness. Totally agree with that. All right, finally we got Pisces for Liu Kang. Pisces is the final sign of the zodiac, reigning from February 19th to March 20th. And in the Mortal Kombat universe, it's most applicable to the series' primary protagonist, Liu Kang. Pisces' intense spiritual and emotional atonement can sometimes stand at odds with its presence in literal manners, and that duality is perfectly represented in Liu Kang, a character who is both the representation of ordinary humanity and the fated champion meant to establish the balance in the world. All right, so what do you think about the Zodiac? What do you think about the Mortal Kombat characters that were picked? Do you agree with the character that you got? Let me know in the comments down below. And that's it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed that like button. If you want to like this, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time on the Mashup.